The Blues and the Dragons are with Phil Steele.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ross. OK, first question to you then, Richard. You haven't signed that agreement. In layman's terms, why?
Well, the regions obviously agreed to a participation agreement in 2009. Within that participation agreement was the opportunity to extend, with a deadline being set for yesterday. Obviously, there's a bit of a giveaway in the title that it's a participation agreement, and as of yesterday, and still currently, we have no concrete offer on the table for a European tournament going forward. So ultimately, we don't know what we're going to be participating in, nor do we know what monies we would receive as a result of playing in that competition.
So as an analogy, it would be like signing to buy a house, and you don't know how many bedrooms the house has got, how much garden it's got, or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also uncertainty on the Rabo. There's uncertainty over the Italian teams and the funding involved with them. There's also uncertainty with the title sponsor on Rabo as well. So it's the boards of the four regions have met and unanimously decided that we cannot sign the participation agreement. Simple as that.
So Gareth, if that European competition was to come into effect then and be with the union's blessing, would that settle the whole thing, that the European Champions Cup?
Yeah, I think it would certainly be a step forward. It would be something meaningful, a progressive competition to play in. Just to continue on the participation agreement, I think the reasons are manifold, well rehearsed everywhere. But what has struck me as somebody new coming in, we as four regions went through the participation agreement in detail after 5 years. Now there's a break after 5 years, so why do you think there's a break? Any reasonable person would think a break is implemented so we can review what has gone on and we can prepare for the next 5 years. Now, we as regions prepared some points as to what has worked, what hasn't worked. We submitted that to the union and we were told, sorry, not for discussion. Well, sorry, that is unreasonable behaviour.
OK, well, back to the European competition then, if it comes off. If that comes off, would you be happy to continue with the Pro 12 as your bread and butter as it is now?
Yeah, I don't think we want to go anywhere. What we want to do is to be sort of in charge of our own destiny to a degree, but playing with the Welsh Rugby Union, building for the future. The regions are the guys who created all these players for successful Welsh teams in the last 10 years. They aren't prepared at Welsh squad sessions. They're prepared in the clubs of Wales first of all, then they come to the regions, and then they go on to the national team. So it's got to be Wales PLC, not the union against the regions.
OK, Richard, we're led to believe that Anglo-Welsh competition, such as it could be, it's on the table, right? If that's so, why have you decided to give another month's grace then?
I think it's important for Welsh Rugby that we continue under the auspices of the Welsh Rugby Union, and the proposal we've put forward with the English that they proposed some time ago now ensures that we're playing rugby with the Irish, with the Scottish in a new European competition, and it also ensures that the funding that we receive is significantly higher, because what's been renegotiated by the RRW is an increase to the tune of £1 million per year per region, which will make a significant difference to us and enable us to potentially keep the international stars in Wales and really move the product forward.
And what about with your situation, Gareth? The union owns 50% of the Dragons, as we know. How would that affect your negotiations with an Anglo-Welsh tournament?
Look, from my point of view, there are far more elementary questions to be answered. First of all, no doubt that's something for the lawyers. And I think there is a point here as well to ask against the Welsh Rugby Union, where, and again, if this does go to court, as has been suggested, a High Court judge stuck up in London is going to decide the future of Welsh rugby, the second time in a couple of years for the governing body, and I think that's a huge concern, or should be a huge concern, for the directors of the Welsh Rugby Union, that sort of High Court judges are deciding on the future of the game.
And finally, gentlemen, I know you're chief executives of rugby regions, but more than that, you're both rugbymen to your boots. In your heart of hearts, Richard and Gareth, is this going to get sorted?
Well, we hope so. That's what we would like to see, but ultimately that decision now lies with the Welsh Rugby Union.
Yeah, certainly. We obviously hope it's going to be sorted. I would just sort of ask the directors of the Welsh Rugby Union, when they meet next and when they meet over the next month or so, to hand on heart, do they actually agree with what's going on?
Thanks very much for the time, gentlemen, and let's hope it's a happy new year for Welsh Rugby.